Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Blame It on the Stars, where we give you an inside look to what's going on in the universe so you can blame your problems on the stars. It is Jade here.
And it's Kara.
And this week, we'll be talking all about Jupiter entering Taurus, as well as the new moon in Taurus. But in case you missed it, last week, we talked all about what happens after Mercury retrograde ends. So if you'd like to know more about that, then definitely listen to last week's episode before diving into this one.
And just to give you a heads up, next week we will tell you everything you need to know about Gemini season and how it affects you.
And after a short ad break, we're going to dive right into it. So the big thing that's coming up, the good news you're looking to hear, is Jupiter entering Taurus. This happens on May 16th at 1:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Per usual, the date and time are from the website astroseek.com. Now, what you need to know about Jupiter entering Taurus. Jupiter in Taurus is a period of time where you are really enjoying the finer things in life. If you find that you're looking to splurge and treat yourself, that is definitely something that's just a little bit more likely to happen during Jupiter in Taurus.
How this affects you is Jupiter is going to bring abundance and expansion into your life in all of the areas that deal with Taurus. It is important to remember that Jupiter is an outer planet, so this energy might be a little bit more subtle. However, it will be with us for quite some time, so we will really get to dive deep into the Jupiter and Taurus energy. During this time, you might find that you're more focused on self-care and comfort. Taurus energy really likes to take their time and enjoy the present moment. So that might be a shift that you notice in your life. You also might find that you have more of a focus on loyalty and commitment towards your goals and a lot of determination and energy to consistently work on the things that you're working towards in your life.
So why this matters? As Kara mentioned, Jupiter is abundance and Taurus is ruled by Venus. In astrology, Venus and Jupiter energy are benefic, meaning they're known to be bringing in abundance and positivity. So this is a pretty good transit if you ask me. Some of the other things you might find you are prioritizing are also things like money, creativity, things along those lines.
Something you might not know is that the last time Jupiter was in Taurus was between June of 2011 to June of 2012. If you can think back to what was going on in your life at that time, it could give you some insight into what you might experience.
So, how long does Jupiter in Taurus last? If you've gotten a reading with me recently, then you definitely have heard me say this. I've been saying, from May to May of this year to May to next year for Jupiter in Taurus, because Jupiter will enter Gemini May 25th, 2024 at 11:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So from May 16th of this year until May 25th of next year, you can experience Jupiter in Taurus completely uninterrupted. It's helpful to remember May to May. Now, Jupiter is not really a relationship type planet, but it does bring abundance. And there are two rising signs that are a little bit more likely to potentially find love while Jupiter's in Taurus, and that is Capricorn rising, since Jupiter will be bringing abundance to the 5th house of romance, and Scorpio rising, since Jupiter will be bringing abundance to their 7th house of relationships. Now, there are some key dates during Jupiter and Taurus that you'll probably want to pay attention to. The first one is May 17th. This is actually more of like a societal thing, but Jupiter will be square Pluto this day. Squares create tension. When Jupiter and Pluto interact, it normally tends to bring a lot of drive and ambition, but as I always say with Jupiter squares, in general, they tend to make us overlook things. So while you are being ambitious and working on your goals, just be mindful if there's certain things you are overlooking that maybe you shouldn't.
And then on May 27th, Jupiter will be conjunct the North Node. The North Node represents our direction in life. And again, Jupiter brings about abundance and optimism. So on this day, you might find that you gain clarity into your own sense of purpose and that you're more in touch with your spiritual side.
And then lastly, on June 19th, Jupiter will be sextile Saturn. So during this time, you might find that you are really disciplined, but the hard work that you're doing feels really rewarding, and it's something that you are enjoying doing during that time. So there are more aspects to Jupiter in Taurus, including a conjunction to Uranus and a sextile to Neptune, but they don't happen for a solid 11 months from now. So we'll worry about those as we get closer. But in case you were wondering, they do happen in 2024. The next thing that's coming up in astrology that you'll probably want to know about is the new moon in Taurus. This will happen on May 19th at 11:53 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, what do you need to know about this? New moons are new beginnings where we're setting intentions, and we'll be setting intentions around Taurus themes. So this could include, as we mentioned, things like self-care, maybe certain long-term goals you might have for yourself, things like that.
How this affects you is that you might feel more drawn to nature at the time of this new moon. You might want to go for a walk and find inspiration for the intentions that you want to set for the new moon.
So why this matters is this new moon can be really good for knowing your boundaries and figuring out what new boundaries you might want to set. So that way you're not doing something that you're not comfortable doing.
Something you might not know is that the next time we have a new moon in Taurus is that it will be an eclipse. It's also the last eclipse in the sign of Taurus for this eclipse cycle.
If you're curious to know more about how this upcoming new moon in Taurus can affect you, look to where 28 degrees Taurus is in your chart, because that's where the new moon is happening, at 28 degrees. So there are some key aspects to this new moon that add a little bit of extra detail you'll want to know. The first one is that the new moon will be sextile Mars. This is really great for productivity. If you're finding that there's a lot of desire to take action on the intentions you're setting, it's definitely because of the support from Mars.
The new moon will also be square Saturn, which is a more serious energy. Squares do bring about some challenges. However, this can help us to persevere and be disciplined as we're working towards these goals.
Also, this new moon will be conjunct Uranus. This might encourage you to be a little bit more open-minded to some new ideas or new experiences, which could potentially lead to personal growth and development. Uranus is all about the unexpected, so this can definitely bring an added layer of excitement and adventure to this new moon.
There also will be a positive aspect to Neptune. The sun and moon will be sextile Neptune at the time of this full moon. This is really enhancing our optimism as we're working towards our intentions. It also is giving vision board energy. So if you do feel like you want to create something, especially because Taurus is a very realistic sign, it does like things that are tangible, handmade, like some type of physical way of setting your intentions could be something that you are thinking about at the time of this new moon.
And lastly, this new moon will be trine Pluto. This can add an extra layer of depth to this new moon. This can allow you to also tap into your own inner resources in order to overcome anything that comes your way during this new moon. That's pretty much it for this week. If you're curious to know more about how maybe Jupiter in Taurus or the upcoming new moon in Taurus or anything that's going on in astrology happens to affect you on a more personal level, then this is your reminder. We do offer readings. Readings are hosted on an app called Intro, which allows for FaceTime style calls. We do readings for as short as 15 minutes to as long as 1 hour. You decide what you want to talk about. There is a little box for you to ask any astrology questions, and on the call, we'll be able to answer your questions face to face.
And if you've never booked a reading with us before, then you can use the code STARS, all caps, STARS, for $20 off your first reading.
And just a reminder, next week we'll be talking all about Gemini season and what's to come. So if you're interested in getting a look into Gemini season, definitely stay tuned for next week. But if you want to stay in the loop with us and what's to come, make sure you're following us on social media. We are on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at BLME The Stars. That is all for now, and we'll see you all next Monday. Bye.